Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk about the Disney Treasure christening,
Updates for Monsters, Inc. Land.
and our trip report for our recent Walt Disney World and Disney Cruise Line trip. Let's dive in. All right, and this is episode number 155.
Welcome back, as always, everybody.
Welcome back. It has been a sick, gross-filled week.
I know. You can't hear it in our voice still.
Yeah, we got a little worse. So Caitlin got much worse as of the last time we recorded.
Mhm.
You sound decent right now. This cold has been super weird. So like half a day, I'll feel completely normal.
Mhm.
I barely feel sick. And then if the evening hits or vice versa, the morning hits, I feel like super sick.
Yeah.
I sound terrible. I get congested again. I start coughing. And then like 5-6 hours later, it's like I
Mhm.
wasn't sick at all. So we're just keep going back and forth on
Yeah.
feeling sick, not feeling sick, feeling. So a little frustrating because you don't know if you're getting better or not.
Mhm.
But we did get sick.
We did.
So,
And little Maddie's still fighting it. She's getting better, though, which is very exciting.
yes.
So,
I know I want her back to normal because I
I
feel
know.
really bad. We keep having to do the snot sucky thing,
I
which is
know.
really gross, and she hates it.
Yeah.
We don't like doing it. So, yeah, it's not fun having a
fun
sick
stuff over here.
kid. Yeah. Parenting.
Yeah.
We're just experiencing new things
Mhm.
and learning together. But we've got a fun episode for you.
We do.
We're finally talking about our trip, Maddie's first birthday trip to Walt Disney World and a Disney cruise.
Yes.
So it was a fun-filled week with family, and it was just a lot of fun.
We came home with a 1-year-old.
Yes.
How did this happen?
She left a baby and came home a slightly older baby.
Oh, she's
I know.
still my baby. I can't even.
Yeah. She's having a fun time, showing everyone she's won. She can show that she's won with
Oh
her
my
little
gosh.
finger.
She's so cute. I love it.
But yeah, it was a good time. We learned a lot. I
Mhm.
think we now know what to expect for another trip
Yes.
and kind of how to approach certain things. And yeah, we can't wait to share.
And honestly, how different, which again, some of you might be like, duh, but how honestly different Walt Disney World is from Disneyland with a baby.
Which we knew, of course, the differences because we've been before.
Yeah.
I think the baby part is the highlight of like, oh, shoot, this is way different than
Exactly.
Disneyland. So can't wait to talk about that.
I'm excited.
So before we do, let's talk about the normal stuff.
Yes.
And that is Patreon. We have a Patreon. If you want to join us over there, markethousepodcast.com/support. The link is also in the episode description. But if you want to support the show, that is a great way of doing it. We roll all those funds right back into here and reinvest in the show to make it sound better for you guys. I think for Christmas, I'll be asking for some podcast-centric things.
Mhm.
These things are kind of expensive. And by kind of, I mean very expensive.
Yes.
It's just the nature of audio stuff
Mhm.
and technology, and that's okay. We love doing it. But again, like I mentioned, those funds and also Caitlin's funds
Yeah.
go towards making this podcast better. So thank you so much for all those who are joined over there. You guys are amazing, and thank you for supporting the show. Also, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Both are a huge help to the show. You can leave a written review over on Apple and a 5-star rating. And then over on Spotify, you can just click those 5 stars, and that helps the show a ton. We also have a fundraiser going on for Give Kids the World Village. If you want to join us over on Instagram to support that amazing organization, please do. Join us over on Market House Podcast Instagram.
Yes.
At Market House Podcast, whatever you say. We have something going on over there. We're really close to our goal. A couple of you gave today, which furthered us towards that goal, but we still need a little help. So we'd love to close this thing out by the end of November. So if you can join us over there to support this amazing organization, let's do it. I think I repeated myself like 2 or 3 times.
That's
but
okay.
It's okay. Please join us to do
Please,
this.
Exactly. And then lastly, we have something super exciting that is starting very soon. There's
Yeah.
a big giveaway coming up. And when I say big, I mean big. And now the details have not been shared yet, so I'm going to wait.
Yeah, I'm going to wait because technically I think so if you're listening to this on Monday, the 25th,
Yes.
I think you'll be live by then.
Yes.
But I don't
Just in case.
Exactly, just in case. So we're going to keep our mouth shut. Just follow us over on Instagram
Yes.
to get more details. So
Cool.
Market House Podcast, follow us over there for an amazing giveaway, and the details will be released
I'll be
very soon.
reposting everything on stories. And again, there's a couple of accounts that are going to be teaming up with us to do this. And I'm telling you right now, you are not going to want to miss it. And yes, it has to do with Disney. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's big.
It's big.
It's really
it's pretty
big.
big. So
So follow us over on Instagram if you want to win an awesome giveaway prize.
All right, for our first news story, we have some super exciting news. The Disney treasure has been christened.
It has officially been christened.
You guys, we are so excited for the treasure. If you haven't seen, it was all over social media. It made its way all the way up to New York for the christening ceremony, and it was such a good ceremony. Jordan Sparks was there doing what would you call it? Like the theme song?
Random. Jordan Sparks I haven't heard from since, a long time.
I know.
It has been a long time. We love Jordan Sparks.
Yeah.
American Idol fan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she was there.
Would you
she
say
sang a
it's
song.
like the cruise ship theme song?
I think it's the Treasures theme song.
Yes. So they christened it. And then if you also haven't seen, a lot of Disney influencers and media were able to go on the ship, and we've seen so many different pictures and videos of the atrium and the rooms, and I have to tell you, it looks absolutely stunning. I'm so excited.
I'm going to correct you. I don't think they call it the atrium anymore. I think it's called the Grand Hall.
Oh, excuse me.
Remember?
Well,
yeah.
no,
excuse me.
The Grand Hall, it fits because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's massive. So this happened on November 19th, and like Caitlin mentioned, a bunch of influencers boarded the ship the next day on the 20th to share all of that amazing footage. Hey, Disney, if you want to invite a couple of podcasters, we'd love to go to the next one. Mm-hmm. But if not, no worries.
It's fine.
No hard feelings. I'll still probably go and pay anyways. Yes. So don't waste your tickets on me. But it looked really good. The maiden voyage is set for December 21st. So we're a month away from seeing this baby set sail for the first time. We can't wait to see it because we maybe have a trip in the works.
Yeah, maybe.
That we're planning. And we're really excited because
stoked.
Seeing the footage, we're like, oh my gosh, that ship is gorge.
I know. I can't wait. And especially because that first sailing is during Christmas week. So it'll be fun to stay
no
tuned.
pressure. They got to make sure it's all set.
I
These
know.
people spent good money on their Christmas to sail with Disney. So hopefully they nail it. But it looks really good. Disney treasure. All right, and for our final news story, we're keeping it over on the East Coast, and that is an update for Monsters, Inc. So at D23, they announced that they will be building, I was going to say announcing, they would be creating a Monsters, Inc. land in Hollywood studios. Now, the big question mark was, where are they putting this thing? And unfortunately, this is the sad news I've got to share with you guys. It is replacing the Muppets Courtyard in Hollywood studios. That was it was like one of the last remnants of the Muppets in the parks, and that makes me very sad.
But it's not going away.
It's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
They're just relocating the Muppets to Rockin' Roller Coaster.
Which I think is a brilliant move on Disney's part.
Yes. So this roller coaster, I would argue, has been way overdue for a retheme. It's like connected to Aerosmith. I don't know why. It's very random to me. Like when I first rode the ride, I was like, I just really don't understand how this was a thing. So I'm happy that it's a more, just not family friendly, but just a recognizable, I know it's IP and stuff, but at least it's a recognizable thing you can get attached to.
Yeah.
I don't care about Aerosmith, to be honest.
And I think it's fun too, especially because it is a roller coaster. I have to admit, that roller coaster is my least favorite ride.
Yeah, it's very, it induces motion sickness, and it's just crazy. It's inside, and it feels like you're going to get your head chopped off.
But still so fun with the Muppets theming. I can't wait to see what they do with that inside. Because again, it's not like they're just, with Dinosaur, that ride, and Indiana Jones, the same concept. They're just bringing that over where it's the same track.
Oh, yeah.
This is they're doing a new ride over there. So it's a new overlay. So I'm excited to see how they're going to take But
they're keeping the track, though.
They're keeping the track, but I'm they're not going, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think
it's kind of similar theming with Dinosaur and Indy.
Sure.
Kind of,
it feels very the same. I don't understand what you're saying.
But I'm this is the complete opposite. We're going from Rockstar City to Muppets.
Got it.
I'm super excited to see what they do with that.
All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is our trip report from a recent trip to Walt Disney World and Disney Springs and a Disney cruise.
Yeah.
But we're only covering half of that in this one.
Because if not, you'd be here for 4 hours.
You'd be here for 4 hours. So we're going to split it up in 2 parts. Today, we're going to be talking about Travel Day, Disney Springs, and Epcot. And then the next episode will be on the Disney cruise.
Yes.
But before we dive in, it is a time of thanks,
mm-hmm.
and we must say, Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
This is Thanksgiving week. Hopefully you're getting together with friends or family, or just hanging out by yourself,
mm-hmm.
or hanging out with strangers. I don't care. It's just a really good week to stuff your face with some good food
mm-hmm.
and hang out.
I always look forward to the mashed potatoes and the bread. That's
I
pretty
look
much
forward to the sweet potatoes
Okay.
and bread. I'll take bread. But yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not a huge Thanksgiving food like fan.
Same.
I don't dislike it. I just don't love it.
I do like the marshmallows on top of the yam.
It's dessert. It's
so
definitely
good.
dessert for dinner, but it's very, very good. So with gluten-free stuff too, it always gets a little weird. Like you can't have stuffing, you can't have this, you can't have that. If you make it gluten-free, you can,
Mhm.
but it's always not as good as the
Yeah.
good stuff.
But happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We hope you and yours are well. And
Yes.
yeah, we're excited. We're very thankful for you all.
Yes, thankful for a lot of things.
Mhm.
Very blessed. Okay, let's dive into the trip report. Enough of all the gushy stuff.
Yes, let's do it. I'm so excited.
Let's talk about it. So we just returned from our much anticipated trip to both Walt Disney World and the Disney Fantasy for our daughter's first birthday trip.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was her first birthday,
Mhm.
and we made a trip out of it. We brought the family along,
Mhm.
brought my parents, my brothers, and my brother's girlfriend.
Yes.
Is that everyone?
Yes.
Yes, that's everyone.
Mhm.
So it was a larger group than we're used to. So we, some curveballs, and we'll kind of talk about how a bigger group affects a trip, which is all good and fun, but
Yeah.
it definitely kind of changes things of like, oh shoot, like you can't just get a reservation for something
Mhm.
really easy because you got a big group.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's just that stuff to think about. But
Yep.
let's talk about it. Okay, let's go back to Thursday, November 7th.
AKA the travel day.
Travel day. So we were super nervous about this day because this is our first time flying a long flight with Maddie. So we had flown once before to Disneyland, which is just an hour flight from Sacramento.
And she was
So
an
that's
angel.
easy peasy. She
Mhm.
slept the entire time. This time she's nearly 1 year old at this point, and you're flying what, 5-6 hours across the country?
Yeah, because we did have a layover on this one. So it wasn't a direct flight. So we were really, really worried about that because I'm like, what if she's done after the first flight?
I know, like I don't want to get back on one of those
Yeah.
stupid things. So we'll talk about that in a second, but let's start with changing our flight. So we originally were going to fly out like at 7 in the morning, which I thought was a grand idea. But then as it came closer to the trip, I was like, this is not going to work out. Like
Right.
waking Maddie up at 3 in the morning to get to the airport does not sound like a good time. So we changed it to like noon, which we're very grateful for. Honestly, I'm just going to say it. She did a wonderful job.
Yes, she did.
She was a trooper. She was playing. We bought her a seat. So, you have the option for kids 2 and under to do lap sitting.
Something
Or is
like
that
that.
3 and under?
I have no idea.
2 or 3. And we chose to get her a seat because how long this flight was, I think for all of our sanity, including Maddie's, I doubt she wanted to sit on our laps for 5 hours.
And it was one of those things too, where I'm like, she is kind of moving around. So we didn't know like, hey, in a perfect world, we would just have her sleep on us the whole time, right? So in the end, we were like, hey, let's buy her a seat. That way she can move around. She can play with the window. And it actually worked out really well.
It was worth every penny. So I would do this again 10 times over.
For sure.
So I planned for it in the budget that for the long flights, we just budget a third seat.
Yeah.
And it was well worth it because you got to play, like Caitlin said, in her own seat with her own toys and kind of lay around and look out the window and climb up on it. And you just can't do that when you got someone sitting next to you.
Her favorite thing was to go sit with Caleb on the aisle seat and wave at everybody.
Yes. Oh, she was a social butterfly.
It was so sweet. And I do have to say one thing because I've listened to a lot of like podcasts and videos where people aren't so nice to ones with like parents with kids. Because again, if the kid's having a bad day or everyone knows the drill. Everyone's been on a flight where this has been a problem. And I was really nervous because, again, it's like this was the first time where I'm like, okay, this could be us. We're like, our kid's having a meltdown.
I know.
And we're like, okay, well, we're in the middle of the air and we can't do anything.
Yeah. Where are you going to go?
Even though she was great, everyone around us on both flights were just so sweet. Like they were all smiling at Maddie and like interacting with her. So I was really surprised and like pleasantly surprised to have that kind of environment. So
yeah, very nice. Nothing to complain about on the way there. We landed at MCO around 10:30, so that meant not getting settled in our room until like 1 a.m.-ish is by the time we settled in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really late night. Again, Maddie was a trooper. She was having the time of her life. Now, mind you, we are 3 hours ahead at this point, so it wasn't super late for her. It was late, but it wasn't 1 a.m. to her. So she was having a good time playing in the room while we cleaned up. But for the hotel.
Yes, it was a new hotel for us.
It was a new hotel for us. This was Saratoga Springs. This is a DVC only resort, and you may be like, did you buy DVC? We did not. We rented points, and we wanted to stay at this hotel because of the walking trail that's connected from Saratoga to Disney Springs.
Yes.
And we wanted to spend a lot of time at Disney Springs because we love it.
Well, and not just that, but it's like, again, everyone knows with Walt Disney World transportation, a lot of the hotels only have buses. And now that we have a little one with a stroller, we didn't want to spend the extra 45 minutes waiting for the bus, traveling to a location, breaking down the stroller. So we thought this was a great hotel. I have to say, being that close to Disney Springs was absolutely amazing.
It was nice. And they had, I'm sorry, I don't want to forget to mention this. They also have boat transportation to Disney Springs. So
Yes.
it's like a 5-10 minute boat ride, and it's super scenic and
Very
it's
pretty.
really, really cool. So, and you don't have to break down the stroller
Which was nice.
while taking the boat,
Mhm.
which is nice.
Mhm.
We stayed in the Springs section, is what it's called. We did ask for Congress Park, which is the section of the hotel that lines the waterway right there and looks over Disney Springs.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we didn't get it because I've heard you have to get that request in like months and months in advance.
Mhm.
I only asked like a couple weeks in advance, so
Yeah.
no big deal there. So we were a little bummed we didn't get a view of Disney Springs, but we were still very close and close enough to walk, which
Yeah.
was nice.
Overall, the room was nice. Again, I wouldn't say it was our favorite hotel experience that we've had at Walt Disney World, but it was clean. It was a smidge older, like when you look at it, compared to what we've seen. We're used to the Grandestino.
Yeah, so that's the thing is that it was recently refurbed, so the rooms inside are like, you can tell if it's an old room that they kind of painted over. Is kind of the vibe.
It's
I
one
got.
of those, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like they didn't totally refurb it. If what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we would definitely not say, like, if you're thinking about staying there, we wouldn't go, oh, don't do
No,
it.
no,
Like,
no.
it was a nice hotel. It
was
just wasn't
decent
our
enough.
favorite.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going to be at like Disney Springs for a couple days and like, let's say you're going on a Disney cruise, this is a very good hotel because just the proximity, like you can't beat it. And the grounds were stunning.
The grounds
Very
are very,
pretty.
very pretty. The only other knock I'd give it is the food is decent. Like their
Yeah.
restaurant, what's it, Artist Palette?
Yeah.
It's
which
okay.
A couple of you actually reached out a few months ago. We were asking about this hotel and told us about that. So we were kind of
It was true. Yeah.
It wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was okay. And then, like Caitlin mentioned, we did miss the Grandestino. I think if we were to do it again, I will pick, even though it is bus-only transportation, we love the newness of the Grandestino. I love that it's a moderate price, but it feels very deluxe.
Yeah.
So that's what I missed. I
Yeah.
missed the kind of deluxe feeling on that moderate budget.
Yeah. We were looking at the Riviera prior to this one, but
And
it
I
was
was
still.
no, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
There was no problem there, other than by the time we got around to getting it, the only premium view was around or for it,
And I was like, woo.
and it was like double what I
was
wanted
so
to pay.
expensive.
So I was like, never mind. But anyways, decent hotel.
Yeah.
Would we say that again? Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Let's take it to Disney Springs Day. After sleeping in on this Friday, since we went to bed so stinking late,
Mhm.
we moseyed on into Disney Springs for a day of shopping and eating.
Yes.
We met up with my brother and his girlfriend, who actually flew in that morning from Sacramento. They did a red eye. Kudos to them. That is insane. But they got like 5 hours of sleep on the flight, they said.
Yeah.
And they met
They're
us
fine.
up. They were fine. Oh, they were in the mood to shop.
Yes.
And we were too. We started the day off with a Starbucks and a stroll in World of Disney, and merch was purchased
Yes, it was.
aplenty. And
Mhm.
Caitlin has plenty to show. I think we should probably show some of that over on Instagram.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'll need to.
We can kind of show a haul. We came back with a lot.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when you travel with family, and this is the only grandkid, you come back with a lot of stuff. Not
Yes.
complaining. You come back with a lot of
Can
stuff.
I tell a short little story really quick?
Sure, go ahead.
So, one of the things that I will tell you about merch that we purchased, we bought some Christmas magnets. And part of you are probably like, why'd you buy Christmas magnets? Well, fun fact, for our Maritime cruise, months prior to this, I bought a ton of Christmas magnets and birthday magnets for Maddie. Well, I forgot them
Yeah.
on the trip. And I literally, it was the morning, actually, it was our first morning on Disney Springs, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Caleb was grabbing Maddie and I some food. We were still in the room. And I remember thinking, like, going through my checklist, everything that I need for like the next couple days. And I'm like, okay, I got the magnets. And then it was the sudden, oh my gosh, I forgot the magnets. They were at home.
Yeah.
And I remember calling Caleb and crying. I think I cried at least 3 times. And he was just like, it's fine. It's fine. So one of the awesome things that Caleb picked up and surprised me with were some like Mickey Minnie like Christmas magnets for our stateroom door, which I'm so thankful that Walt Disney World had that. They had it at one of our favorite stops or shops. It was the Co-op, I believe it's called.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
Where you can personalize magnets and do all that kind of thing. So that was one little item that I will cherish forever. They're on our fridge right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
So-
Disney saved the day with $15 magnets. It was $30 for 2 little magnets that
You're
you could
sweet.
probably buy for $4 online, but that's okay. They came in handy. No big deal. We forgot the magnets. It's okay.
Yeah.
Maddie didn't know any better.
She didn't. But we also did get a personalized ornament for Maddie. She has a little Christmas tree by her room.
Yes.
And that was super fun because it was just really nice to go in their Christmas shop and get one of those in Disney Springs.
It was fun. It was
So.
a good time. So we walked around, bought a lot of stuff. We ended the afternoon with some deluxe, which is the best burger you can find on a Disney property,
Mhm.
in our opinion. That was so stinking good. We weren't very hungry because of the time change, so we
Yeah.
ended up grabbing just one burger and fries and splitting that, and it was perfect.
Well, they're quite big. So
They're big, and it was kind of expensive.
Yeah.
If we both would have gotten burgers, it would have been like $50.
yeah,
That's pretty pricey.
they're delicious. So I highly recommend.
Very good. On the way back to the boats to our hotel, we stopped by Sprinkles to pick up some gluten-free cupcakes. If you don't know this, they were in downtown Disney over here in California, but they recently left and was replaced. I'm already forgetting. I think the restaurant replaced it or something. And so...
The soccer store. Oh, no. The Mexican restaurant. Is it Tiendetta?
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, now they have Mexican food there. Not cupcakes, but that's okay.
Yes.
So now, yeah, we were totally craving these, and so we went there and got them, and they were delicious as usual.
And if you follow us on Instagram, you saw Caleb's little Instagram story of us eating them in like a dark room while Maddie was napping.
Yeah.
And us dropping half of it on the floor. It was a whole
It
thing.
was
It
a
was
whole
so
thing.
fun.
But you do what you do when you're a parent.
Yeah.
And now we realize that you have to just kind of do everything in the pitch black because
Exactly.
she's sleeping. And some people did recommend, hey, you should buy the what's that thing
Slumber
called?
pod.
Slumber pod, which is the thing that goes over their crib and makes it like pitch black. We tried that. I bought it online. It came in a box and delivered by UPS.
We didn't like
I'm
it.
just gonna go through the whole process. And yeah, open it up. First of all, it smelled really bad. I don't know if that was normal. And then second, I felt like it would take 8 people to put it together. Maybe I'm not very bright, but I just hated the construction of it. And so I said, forget it, put it back in the bag. I don't want it.
Yeah.
So we returned it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we headed back to the hotel for Maddie's nap. But before she went to sleep, she needed a bottle. This is what babies need. And let me tell you, you need access to clean water. So I wasn't entirely sure I wanted to fill up her bottle in the bathroom sink.
Well, we would have never done that. That's gross.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not doing that. I need to go find a water bottle, good old Dasani, from a Disney store, right? Or, whether it's the front desk or whatever. So I'm on the hunt. I see there's a vending machine. So I go over to the vending machine, and it's $4.75 for one water bottle from this vending machine. Or I could go over to the store that's connected to the quick dining spot there, and that was $4.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, the water budget on this trip was
Yeah.
wild because she's drinking large bottles now, and you do that 4 times a day or something, it adds up.
Yeah.
So we
At
could
the end
have
of the day, I'm like, what
we
did
could
you
have
do?
we could have bought another plane seat. With
Oh,
all
gosh.
I could have had 4 seats with the money we spent on water. So let me tell you, lesson learned. Budget for that, or find an alternative way. Maybe have a case of water delivered. I should have done that, and that would have been a lot smarter. But Caleb doesn't think very well before a trip.
It's okay.
He gets a little stressed. So that's what we did. We paid Disney prices for water the entire time, and I was...
It's all for Mickey, all right?
Yep. Mickey's flying high, man. He's got some nice
Yeah.
things on our dime.
All right, so after nap time, we decided to head back to Disney Springs to meet up with our family for some dinner, and we got a Well, actually, we tried really hard to get a reservation for Summer House. It didn't work out. Our family was able to get us on the walk-up list. So we were able to go for dinner that night.
Yeah, and it was decent. I think the vibe of the restaurant, the inside and stuff, it is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Very well done. I think the food was it was really good. I had a pasta dish that was very good and totally worth it.
Mhm.
Then Caitlin got a Cobb salad that was very
Not good.
mediocre. It
Yeah.
was like meh. And
Which
that was expensive.
A couple of you guys, when we talked about it on stories, they reached out and were like, hey, I don't recommend that salad.
Yeah, which now we
It's very
know.
good.
I've heard split things. Some people were like, the Cobb salad is delicious.
Yeah,
And
no, the dressing didn't taste like anything. It was just like lettuce
then water.
with chicken. And then if you want chicken, it's an extra $8.
It was like a $30 salad.
It was
And it was not
worth it.
worth
But the
$30.
pasta was absolutely delicious. And then our family got some pizza and tacos. I think they liked it.
They liked it. Yeah,
Right?
they looked really good.
Yeah.
So,
And the guac is very good. The chips and guac.
yes.
Highly recommend.
So yeah, decent restaurant. I would say it's pretty good for the money. Then we, I think, ended the night with some shopping. We
Yeah.
went and got some flip flops because I forgot some. My brother got some, and then what else did we do? I think that was it.
No, you're forgetting one major thing that we did.
I'm sorry. What did
you
we do?
and we took a little field trip.
Did we?
Oh my goodness. To Port Orleans.
We did. I'm sorry. So yes, before we were feeling crazy and wild, and before heading back to that was not that night. I don't think. No, that was the following night.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oops.
you just spoiled it.
Fun fact.
Great
That's
job.
what we did the next day. No, that night we did the gluten-free bakery.
Yes, we did. Aaron McKenna's, I think it's
Yes.
called.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. Okay, so now brings us to Epcot Day. Went back to the hotel, went to sleep, woke up, and then it was time for Epcot.
We were so excited for this day.
Very excited. So, give you a little backstory here. We had a late start, and we weren't in a rush to get there because, let me tell you, my brother and his girlfriend ended up getting there very early because they wanted to get up early and do that, which is fantastic. So they did that. nailed some rides while the park was light on crowds. We slept in with Maddie because my parents and my youngest brother didn't land until the previous night until like something like 2 or 3 in the morning. They didn't get to bed until 4 something in the morning.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to land that late.
Yeah, there was some weather stuff that delayed them and some plane changes and what have you. And so they were super late. And so they were like, I have no idea when we're going to get there, probably around lunchtime. And so we were like, you know what? We'll let Maddie sleep in too. So no rush. So we didn't get there until like 11 a.m.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. We headed straight to Frozen.
We did.
And it was so fun.
You guys, and it was one of those things where it's one of my favorite rides in Epcot. And again, with the little waterfall that you go down, I was super nervous because I'm like, okay, is Maddie going to do okay? She did fine. No tears, just looking around.
She looked a little scared, but she had fun.
But it was great. That ride is so beautiful inside. The line, let me tell you, Epcot the whole day was hot.
It was hot and it was packed. So let me tell you, this was Veterans Day weekend. We did not know it was going to be that busy. I don't think I connected the dots on, this makes sense. People around here want to go to Disney on a holiday weekend. And so Epcot was packed. This line was wrapped around. It was out of Norway.
We had to have waited over an hour for it.
Oh, it was so stinking long. And like Caitlin mentioned, it was 81, 82, but really high humidity. We are not used to that.
It was 82 degrees with, I think it was 84% humidity.
Okay, I don't understand. This is November, people.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how people can live in that.
And then again, if rewind, we were supposed to do the whole lightning lane thing. And then that kind of got messed up because it was just like the whole group thing. And then we ended up not doing it. And then by that time, we wanted to get Frozen with Lightning Lane, and that was already sold out, so we couldn't do that. And then, so we ended up just waiting in line, which was fine. Once we got on the line, like inside the building where there was AC, like even better. But while we were standing outside, like we were like, all of us were just dripping.
We were all dying. So yeah, Maddie was really red and hot. And so, yeah, it was just, we got, the day off kind of started weird. It was just really warm. And I think none of us were expecting how hot it would be.
Yeah.
And so it kind of zapped our energy really early. And we were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it was really packed. So that also affected it. Next we did
lunch.
Mm-hmm. What did we eat? We did
Connections Eatery.
Connections Eatery. It was decent.
I liked it.
Anything to write home about, I don't think, at least for me. What did you have?
I had the gluten-free chicken strips.
Okay, I had the same thing.
Which again, I'm glad that they offered that. So again, they're not anything to write home about, but they were definitely good. I loved their fries. And I loved Connections Eatery, like the seating. There was a ton of seating in there.
Yeah, AC. I'm not complaining. I know people are like, it looks like a whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
It looked nice.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And then next we did Living with the Land.
Yes.
Which we love this ride. It was themed for Christmas. It was decorated, but we went during the day, so none of the lights were on, which kind of stinks. But it was a good ride. We loved it. It was really low key. Maddie sat with my youngest brother.
Yeah, it was
and would just stare at him half the time and just look up, and that was hilarious. So.
We also did the Moana experience. What is it called? Way of Water or Journey of Water?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I get confused with the Avatar movie. That's Avatar.
Way of Water.
Way of Water.
So maybe
this
it's
is
Journey
the
of
Journey
Water.
of Water.
You guys know what I'm talking about. The Moana thing in Epcot. We loved that. Like, I always thought it was going to be one of those things where I'm kind of like, okay, is this kind of boring? Like, whatever. I'm speaking for myself. I loved it.
Yeah,
and Maddie
cool.
really liked it.
I think it was a cool thing to do to kill some time. I wouldn't go out of my way to do it, but I think if you have 15, 20 minutes and young kids, I would do it.
It was definitely packed when we did it.
Very.
So that's one thing to consider. So
a kid tried climbing in one of the fountains. That was hilarious.
Oh, he made it in.
Oh, he made it in?
Like, no, and it was like I
think his shoes must have been
soaking wet, but it was super fun. Like, again, I love all the different experiences. And again, when you have a little one, it's just neat to see kind of like her playing with the water. And,
yeah, she had a good time.
And then after Living with the Land, we did, I almost called it Moana again. We did Nemo.
Yes, Nemo. This is my favorite ride in Epcot.
Yeah.
And it was fun. A big blue world.
Yeah.
And it was a big blue world indeed. We rode that and it was fun. It was a little warm. I noted that a couple times. Like, what is up with the lack of AC here, people? And then afterwards, we roamed the park, I think. We walked around World Showcase.
Yes.
And just kind of checked out all the different countries. That was fun. It was, again, like I'm just going to mention again, very hot and very, very busy.
And probably a lot of you are wondering, wait, did you guys go on Guardians? No, we didn't actually, because it was closed the entire day.
Yeah, so it broke down multiple times. And by the time the second virtual queue opened up, they weren't even taking virtual queue entries because it was shut down. And they were shut down, like Caitlin mentioned, most of the day because people were complaining to guest services. I heard them a million times complaining and them going, I'm sorry, it just happens to do that.
Yeah.
So they were having a rough day.
Yeah. which was a bummer because I really
I
wanted
know
to ride that.
the entire family really wanted to ride that. So that sucks. Again, just an excuse to get out there again and ride it, but it just stinks.
Yeah. So later that night, we all kind of went separate ways, and the family went back to their hotels, and Caleb and I and Maddie went and got some food. You tried one of the food booths.
Food booths. Yeah, this was during Food and Wine.
Yes.
What was going on? Food and Wine Festival. So we headed over to Canada, and I grabbed a steak and mashed potato
filet,
from
something.
Yeah, filet. It was really good. It was like $9.
I loved it.
It was delicious. So we grabbed that, and then Caitlin wanted to get tacos over in the Mexico Pavilion. So we went over there and did that. And
at that little restaurant. I forgot what it's called.
Little quick service one.
Yes. We loved it. It was fun. We just finished out the night sitting over there. And then
it was beignet time.
Sorry, then it was beignet.
Yeah, so
we went over there.
Caitlin jumped the gun on that earlier, but we were like craving a sweet thing. And so we thought, you know what? Let's go take the boat to Port Orleans, French Quarter. And we did, and grabbed some delicious gluten-free beignets. Now, let me tell you, there was a curveball here. So we're walking back to the boat to take it. It's so frustrating sometimes that they don't do hotel to hotel transportation.
Well, really quick, we from Epcot, we took the bus from Epcot to Port Orleans, and then we took the boat home.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. And then we took the boat back to Disney Springs and then walked from Disney Springs to the hotel.
Yeah.
I just hate that you have to do that kind of workaround.
Yeah.
And you can't go hotel to, I guess I get it. But we were on our way over to the boats, and I looked in our bag and I said, this feels a little light. I ordered 6 because we were going to eat some and then eat some later. And I look in and I'm like, there's 4 in here.
Yeah.
So I
a bummer.
Ran back and let them know. They were super nice about it. I just said, hey, I think I'm missing a couple. We don't have time to wait because we got a little one that we got to get to bed. So I don't really know what you want to do. And they're like, oh, let me give you a full refund. I'm so sorry. So they were super cool about it. Took 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Ran back to Caitlin and Maddie. And we let Maddie have a little bite, just a little nibble.
Oh my gosh, it was so sweet.
And she was loving it.
She loved it. It was just a fun memory. Like we're standing by the boat area, by like the dock, and we're just trying beignets. We got on the boat. That was super fun. We passed by, because again, you're back in the Port Orleans?
Yeah, French Quarter
area. You passed the tree houses on the way to Disney Springs. Those were awesome. Once we got there, we decided to get off at Disney Springs and walk back to our hotel, as Caleb mentioned. And again, we just walked and talked, and we're eating beignets. We ate the entire bag.
Yeah, Maddie's just sitting there kicking around and looking around and having waving at people. She was having a grand old time.
It was a really fun memory. Like, I loved that night.
Yeah, so it was a nice time to unwind. We got back to our room, got ready for bed, and then prepped for the next day.
Which we will get into the next time.
Yeah, so that was our little soiree in Disney Springs and Disney World. I think this is honest hour. Let's break down our experience. I think at the end of the day, we agree that going to Disney World specifically, this is Disney World, not Disneyland. I feel differently about Disneyland. Disney World is really hard with a baby because of the time it takes to the time it takes to travel from your resort to Epcot and back, or any of the parks, and things are very far apart. They're very spread out at Disney World, which is great for the most part. But when it comes to having a baby, it just takes up way too much time to head back for nap time and all that good stuff.
Yes. And for those of you who are like, well, we go all the time with our little one, it's fine. Yes, we're not saying that it can't be done, because it definitely can. We know quite a few people who take their little one and they think it's easy, and that's great. Maddie wasn't difficult at all. It's just one of those things where when you have a little one who has I think she still has a couple naps a day. She has her eating times. And so it's just kind of one of those things where at Disneyland, we can walk back to our hotel in like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It took us 45 minutes to get from the World Showcase back to the front of Epcot. Yeah. And I'm like, then the time it takes to wait for the bus, or you get on transportation, and then you got to get to your hotel and walk all the way to your room. At that point, it's an hour and a half, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot. So like that stuff is just like, as a Disneyland person, you're like, it's not worth the effort to us. So,
and I think we're just spoiled with Disneyland. Yeah. Because it's just the proximity you can't beat the proximity there.
Yeah, you can't. So I think for the future, I think we'll, like, if we do a Disney cruise out of Port Canaveral and the East Coast and stuff, we'll probably skip Disney World just for a few years.
Yeah.
Just because of the effort to payoff ratio.
Yeah.
I just think it's just a lot of work, especially when it's warm. I don't know when you're supposed to go to avoid the heat other than January and February.
That's the best time that we've gone.
Yeah, that's when we tended to cruise. The only time we did it this time was because of Maddie's birthday, falls in November, and it was a merry time and all that good stuff. So usually we go January, February. That's when you get actually some decent weather in Disney World. But November, dude, I just cannot, I still can't wrap my head around. That's their Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's 80 degrees and warm. That's nuts.
I would say if you are going to Florida, definitely don't just look at the temperature, because I made that mistake because I'm like, oh, 80 degrees. I'm like, that's beautiful in California. Like, that's going to be awesome. The humidity, if it is over, which again, it's normally in the 60% range when we go, which is again normal for Florida. When it's in this upper 70s, 80s to even, because we've gone when it's 94% humidity, it is rough.
It's hard, man.
And again, for Floridians, you guys are probably like, no, it's not. It's fine. To you, it is. But for us, it's so dry in California that when you go over there, the real feel, if it says 80, it feels like 92.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're going. Again, once the sun went down, it was beautiful
pleasant,
outside.
Very pleasant.
Yeah. Like it was, I almost wanted to put a sweatshirt on it some of the times.
Yeah.
I'm colder than you are.
I don't know about that. Wasn't that cool. But yeah, our Uber driver even said like, this is actually nice.
Yeah.
You just missed like, it was really bad not too long ago. So yeah, just prepare for heat. It's very hot in Florida. Newsflash. But that brings us to the end of this half of the trip report. We had a really good time. Disney Springs is always a fun time, and that is free, people. So if you've got some time to kill in Orlando, go to Disney Springs. It is, you get that Disney magic, but it's
definitely,
you don't have to have a ticket, which is amazing. All right, that brings us to the end of our episode. Do you have anything else to add?
No, just I think we're going to be taking next week off though because of the Thanksgiving holiday, and because we were all sick, we had to push our little one's birthday party, which is coming up this weekend. So we'll be taking off next week.
Yes,
which is the first week of December.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, first week of December, taking off. We'll be back the following week with some more fun Disney magic. But again, we're taking the week off for family. All right. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram and Threads at Market House Podcast. Make sure to follow us over there for pictures from the park and exciting news and announcements. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, both a huge help to the show. We also have a Patreon, markethouse.com/support.
Markethouse.com?
Markethousepodcast.com. Sorry. Markethousepodcast.com/support. And you can find it over there. Remember to use our Getaway Today link for your future trip bookings. Check out the episode details for that link and use code MarketHouse10 to save an additional $10 off your vacation. Also, the fundraiser. Head over to Market House Podcast on Instagram and join us in supporting Give Kids the World, an amazing organization that we love to support. So join us over there if you can. Join us not next week, but the following for another episode. It's been fun. It's been filled with beignet powdered sugar goodness.
Bye.